Hey guys, welcome back to 9 to 5 Gamers, and today is weekend in review. So before we get to our review for this weekend, let's go ahead and just remind you guys to like and comment and subscribe on this video. All of those things help to continue to promote the channel, as well as in the comments section, let me know what's your favorite racing game, because today we are reviewing Heat Pedal to the Metal, right? And so Heat Pedal to the Metal is a racing game by Days of Wonder that is really cool. And before I get into that, don't forget to check out our memberships, guys. If you guys are not a member yet, members get exclusive videos and extra content. There's a Discord. We can play on BGA. There's a lot of extra little perks that I will provide for you guys if you are interested in becoming a member. And we already have 2 members, and so let's continue to build that up. So if you guys will come and join, we have packages at $3, $5, and $10. So if you're interested in joining, it's very inexpensive. I want this channel to be funded by gamers. This is a channel by gamers for gamers. We are 9 to 5 gamers. We work jobs and then we come home and we play our games and we enjoy the content that content creators put out. And I really love the making content as well, and I would like for this community to just be a board gamers community, man. Let's continue to build up this community and make it great. And so without further ado, let's get into Heat Pedal to the Metal. Let's do this. So let's talk about Heat Pedal to the Metal. First thing we always talk about is the teach and the learn and the teach. And so the learn is basically how easy is this game to learn. Very simple. I think that if you watch some videos, it's extremely helpful. I think going off the rule book alone can make it a little bit tough, but it's not too bad, because I've heard some people say that before you know, being able to play the game, they go through the so some people have said that as you read through the rule book, it can be somewhat confusing, and I could understand that. That's why I think watching videos on how to play the game is very essential. I always recommend Game Night. If you guys have never seen those videos, in Game Night, they played this game, and you can watch, they teach you the game, then they play the game, and then they do a review right afterwards. It's like everything all in one. But this is for you guys to hear my impressions of the video. So learning to teach, to learn the game, watch how to play, watch it played by Rodney Smith. Just watch a video and it helps to aid in some of the difficulties that come from the rule book, but I don't think it's that bad. Teaching the game is really not that difficult. It takes maybe about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to explain, but it's a regular teach. So I would say the teach maybe 1.5 out of 2, just because I feel like it takes a little bit of a hit with the rule book. If you were just to go off of that, you may need to watch it played before you actually play a game through. But aside from that, mechanically, this is one of the simplest games I've ever played, and once everybody got it, the game just flowed perfectly. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's talk about storage and setup. The setup is super simple. It's not a ton of setup. Getting everything there, because this game comes with one of the greatest storage solutions I've ever seen. I think that might be a bit much, but it is a great storage solution. Everything has its place. Every car, every gear shifter, every deck of cards for each person, every module has its place in here, and it's so easy to set up, and it's got all the boards and everything fits in this thing perfectly. It's not puffed up, because I have games that are like that. I can't pull them out right now because I have my little spinning wheel blocking it, but there are games like Raw, for example, where just everything just doesn't fit back into the box afterwards, and that can be frustrating. Everything fits in the box, no issues there, and makes the setup and the storage super simple. 2 out of 2. Great, fantastic. Everybody can learn from this. Let's talk about gameplay and mechanics. Oh no, visual art and visuals, the visuals and components. Visuals are great. This artwork, incredible. The artwork on the boards and everything visually looks beautiful. Component quality, this is where it's going to take a big hit. And maybe I'm alone in this, I don't know, but the little cars are okay. Like, they're not great cars. You have to remember that this is about an $80 US game, right? I got it for 60, but that's because, you know, I got the hookup. So I got it for 60, so it's not that bad. But for $80, and people are paying $80 to $100 to get this game, I don't think the component quality matches up to that price at all. The board is great. Like the actual board, the track looks fantastic. But the rest of the game, the components are like, okay, it's got this small little plastic gear shifter thing. That's fine. I feel like the cars are cool. They're not great, but they're also not like... I think they're maybe better than Downforce, maybe not. I don't even know. Maybe you could just replace them with like Hot Wheels. But yeah, it's okay. But the worst part about it, I think, is the game mat that you have, as well as the cards. Oh my gosh, the cards felt very cheap. Like it didn't feel. They're not like linen finished or anything. They felt very thin. When I first pulled them out, I was like, wow, these are really thin. Like these cards feel very papery, and I didn't like that. I thought the card quality was very low for a game this expensive, number one. Number two, it's a weird sized card. Like the cards are... I opened up the box. This is the cards that it comes with. They are very papery thin. I think I was mistaken on the linen finish. I think they have like a little bit of a linen finish on them, but they feel very like thin. Like they don't feel very thick like regular cards do. And then the worst part about it is this is a standard size sleeve. These are Dragon Shield clear mats, and this is what it happens. You see, it's a weird sized card, and so I forget the card. I'm super into like TCG. Well, I was super into TCGs, so I used to know all of these card sizes, but it's not a normal sized card sleeve, and that's unfortunate because there are people who literally kickstart sleeves where they say, I'm going to buy the sleeves that I'll need for the whole year. And I'm sure that if you did a bunch of different size sleeves, you'll be good. But if you only did one type of sleeve, which is like the standard size, then you would be a little bit disappointed because these cards are a very different size than what most cards are. And I mean most cards. So I think component-wise, I'm going to give it a 1. Just because I think the visual is good, I think the art is good, and everything else is decent. Like the gear shifters are okay; they just look like normal pawns, and they have like the there it is, and it has like the little H thing, so it looks like a gear shifter. But man, I thought they were like immediately when I pulled out the gear shifters, me and my friend said the same thing. I'm gonna have to go on Etsy to replace this immediately, just because I don't think it's that great. And then the cars are okay. So like the cars look fine, I suppose. Like they're cool, but like the wheels don't move. I would have thought it had like little wheels that moved, but they would have been sliding all over the place. So I'm sure that was a bad idea. But as far as like the components go, I think it's like a 1 for me. I don't think it has like the best components, but the art on them is really good. But these are just floppy. But that's good because these don't warp like wood does and things like that, because I've heard of people who have like the warp, and then it's like your game mat is like this, and then you have to try to flatten it, or it's like U-shaped. That's always frustrating. So I guess that works out. Some people actually prefer that and say that's an advantage. So I'm thinking like 1.51 for that. Gameplay mechanics, solid. Oh my gosh, this game plays like a dream come true. The gameplay is really easy, just like you use your gear shifter to go down the side over here, and whatever gear you choose to go into. So if you go into gear 1, that's how many cards you can play. So if you shift up to gear 2, you can play 2 cards from your hand, 3 cards, and so on and so forth. But you can upshift from 2nd to 4th, but you have to spend heat from your engine. So heat is the currency of the game. And so you start off with like 6 heat cards that go into the center here, into your engine block. And then the heat, you have to spend it from your engine block into your discard in order to do certain actions. The cool part about that is that when the heat comes out of here, you can't do as many actions. You can't boost and do certain things, because now, because it's in your discard pile, it gets shuffled in and it goes into your deck. Once these heat cards are in your hand, you're basically, your card is heating up so much that now when you get a hand of cards, let's say you draw 7 cards, 4 of them are heat cards, and all you have is 3 cards that you can play, it slows down the gameplay for you, and you start to lag behind. Then you have to downshift into these gears where it has these little cooldown symbols, and then when you do a cooldown action, you can take them from your hands and put them back into your engine block. That mechanic alone made this game puzzly and thinky, and it actually feels skill based. It doesn't feel like it's just luck. You know, like, oh well, you lucked out, so that's why you won. Like, some people can get that kind of vibe from a game, and I don't like that vibe where it's like I just feel like everything's so luck based that I lost because you just rolled better numbers. I know that can be kind of frustrating. This game's not like that. It's skill based, but yet there's a luck to it. But managing your engine block is the most important part of this game. And I thought the way they executed that gameplay-wise, it is so stinking fun. Gameplay and the mechanics for this game are incredible. Drifting around the corners, right? Like, so when you got a corner, you have to be very careful because there's a certain speed limit for hitting a certain corner. And the tighter the corner, the lower that number is. And so it's like when I play cards from my hand, you add up all the values on them. So if I play a 4 and a 3... and a 2, right? That's going to be 9, so I'm going to move forward 9 spaces. But when you take a corner, that's a 2 cost corner, you can only play cards that value up to 2. And whatever gear you're in, that's how many cards you have to play. You can't play less. You have to play that amount. And so it's like you have to downshift to play less cards so that way I don't go too far above it. And then if you do go past the corner, every time you go past the corner, you have to do a speed check and see if the cards you played add up to that total cost. And if they add up, you're good. But if they go over, you have to pay the difference in heat cards from your engine. So that's the currency of the game. And so you want to continuously keep putting heat cards back into your engine so that you can continue to boost your car forward. This game is so cool. The gameplay and the mechanics, perfect score. That's a 2. Just like the storage and the setup, 2. I loved it. Now let's talk about the last one, replayability, fun factor, theme. I thought the theme was great. I love racing games. I think that this one just does it well. I would honestly say this one does it best. Out of all the racing games that I've played, this is by far my favorite racing game of all time, and I've played a lot of different racing games, and I know for a fact that this is definitely my favorite. I like for example, Jamaica is a really fun game, but I just feel like there's just too much luck. It just really depends on what cards you draw. And if somebody lands and combats you and beats you with the dice roll, it's just way too lucky, even though I think Jamaica is a phenomenal game. And it's actually one of my favorite racing games as well. Camel Up and all these other racing games and Downforce. And there are a lot of great racing games. This one, I feel like it does justice to, with the mechanics, it just does justice to the racing. With like Downforce, for example, you're playing a card that makes all cars move forward. And then you can kind of king make in that game. So there's a lot of like little things wrong with all of those. This one, I feel like gameplay, mechanics, this is the best of the best. I really love this game, man. And the replayability is through the roof because it has modules where you can actually go through and build your car with different components. Let me grab this deck, sorry. These are like components that you can build your car up with, so you can get like a gas pedal, which does like 3, and you can add these to your decks, and you can create new components to your car. You can build a car from scratch. There is weather cards. I'm not sure exactly where I put those, but there are weather cards, and there's a lot of cool modules and different things that you can do in this game that makes this game more replayable. And there's a ton of extra content. This game came with a lot of replayability in the box. I think it justifies the cost of the game, but again, it takes a hit in the component quality place, at least for me. But I think everything else is quality. Like, these boards are high quality. Even the boards have like a linen finish to them. They feel really good. And there's 2 maps on each side with 2 boards. There's 4 different maps you can race, and I'm sure they're coming out with expansion stuff for this. And I will be the first to buy it when it comes out for sure. So that's it, man. 2 for replayability, so that's 2, 4, 6, 7.5, and a 1. I got it at an 8.5. So heat pedal to the metal, 8.5 for me. I think that it is a great game. I think that it could be a 9 if I eased up a little bit on the component quality score and bring it up to a 9. But I think that this game is worth it, man. So for me, this is going to get a silver lunchbox. And just in case you wonder what that is, I just invented it right now on the spot. Okay, so I'm going to do a bronze lunchbox, a silver lunchbox, and a golden lunchbox. And so the silver lunchbox will be, you know, it's good. It's a great game, amazing game. Gold lunchbox, perfect, flawless, amazing game. And then a bronze lunchbox is like, it's a good game. It's like a 7. So if it's in a 7 to 8 range, it's a bronze lunchbox. If it's a silver lunchbox, it's between the 8 and the 9 range, and then 9 to 10 range is going to be the golden lunchbox. So any game that I give a 9 or a 10 is going to get that golden lunchbox. This one's going to get a silver lunchbox. I think it's a phenomenal game. But silver is good. Maybe not in heat, but it is definitely good. So anyways, love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the membership. And I also have a Patreon. You can check that out as well. But I think the membership is probably going to be the way to go on YouTube. Just makes everything focus here on the channel, and I think that's the best place to be. So thank you guys for tuning in. Share this with a friend, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.